Hey everyone, so I decided it was time for me to make a logo for my video game. But I'm not an artist myself, and most of the assets in my video game are purchases from the Unity Asset Store. So I was in a pickle. I needed something distinct and unique for my video game, something that other indie video games wouldn't have. So I decided to go to Upwork.com and create a work order for my new logo. About 2 months ago, I created a post to Upwork. I basically said I need two things. I need a logo that can be used as a profile icon in social media, and I'm looking for an artistic depiction of Monowar that can be used in the game start menu. I said I was open to ideas that merge these two items into one product. And look, I'm not a big baller. I'm making an indie video game, but I do have some money, so I wasn't super cheap with this work order. I offered what I could, $200, and I was open to all levels of experience. I then tell the freelancers to check out my YouTube channel for inspiration. As I click on the first link here, I'm directed to some gameplay of my game Monowar. Let me blow this up for you. You can see a priest casting a spell against a tree man I call Woody. You see dice being rolled, you see dwarfs, you see mages, you see a steampunkish robot shooting. The freelancers get the idea that the logo I'm requesting should be heavily fantasy inspired. So within 24 hours, I got tons of proposals. A couple things I noticed. A lot of these proposals were from people overseas, which is fine. As long as they speak my language, I'm good with that. So there were a lot of freelancers who did have a good deal of experience. But I did notice that a lot of these people have experience creating logos and designs, but not necessarily logos and designs for video games, more like logos and designs for companies. So as I reviewed these candidates, I was really looking for a candidate that had some sort of video game experience in any way. Or, if I couldn't find that kind of candidate, just look at a candidate that really understood the job details that I posted and maybe looked at my YouTube channel and was really inspired, and in their proposal and their write-up to me, if they really understood the assignment, that this was a fantasy and video game inspired logo job, then those were the candidates I was looking for. I also noticed that there were some candidates that were willing to go under the initial proposal as far as the fees. Look, I got a $150 one, $160 one, which is fine. I could tell that they really wanted the job. They were willing to undercut the market, and if I would be tempted to go with them as long as I had a good background and I didn't have other competing candidates that really met my requirements. So I ended up paying somebody the original amount, $200, because they had skills and background that really fit what I was looking for. All right, let's see who I ended up hiring. His name is Hamad Ali D, man. Logo design, professional branding, and identity designer. All right, if you click into his cover letter, the first thing I noticed that he actually created some designs for some video games before. So if you go take a look at some of his video game logos up in here, these just to me stand out as logos for video games. You got Virus Escape, Exocraft, Lazy Bear. These look pretty cool. It seems like he gets the gist of what I'm looking for, just because of his background and prior experience with making logos for other video games. So I decided to go with Hamad. So a day or two after Hamad accepted my work order, he sent me 3 concepts, and they were all pretty cool. The first one is this one that you're seeing here, Monowar. Look, you got a shield with a dragon on it. We got a crown, a couple of axes, and fireballs coming to the side, and it says Monowar. And then, that's one thing he asked me, what would my slogan for my game be? Pursue power? Sure, why not? Because my game is all about warring factions, trying to grab the mana of the world and gain power. But anyway, the point is, this verse concept is pretty good. It has little, if you look at the shield on the top right, it has a dice, so he incorporated that element. A lot of fantasy elements, like I said, the axes, the fireballs. So this is pretty cool. I like this one. All right, the next concept is this one. This is kind of retro looking, but it's simple but awesome. It's really nice, and it was hard to not choose this one. but I really like it. It says Mono War, and it has a little shield and a sword there. And, it has the, like I said, a retro aspect, but also kind of fantasy, almost like Zelda or something. So I thought this one was really cool. And then for the third concept, we have a little dwarf here with some axes. Again, a dwarf fantasy creature. It says Mono War, it says Pursue Power. The background is a nice touch. Again, this was also a pretty cool one. I ended up going with the dragon and dice and stars and shield. I like that version of the logo. I actually went back to Hamad though, because this in itself is a really cool picture, but I kind of wanted the elements to not have a background, so I could superimpose it on any background I want. So when I log in, I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so I'm giving you a little sneak peek of how my UI looks right now for my video game. I'll get more into that in a later video, but I did want to show you on the bottom left hand corner, you see the Mono War Pursue Power. See, I went back to Hamad and he was able to make that background transparent. Like I was saying earlier, I can superpose that image on anywhere I want, and that's really cool. Even though I'm pretty satisfied with what I got out of Hamad, I do regret one thing, and this is on me. And this is one of these learning experiences you probably don't really notice until you actually put plans into action. Like I originally didn't think I would want a animated title screen or something like that. I thought, hey, a logo is fine. This is what I have right now for my kind of opening screen, and it's kind of static. And I almost wish that I would have gotten an animated title or something like that, an animated logo. And I may very well do that down the line, but I think this is good enough for now. Once you log in, as you saw earlier, I'm going to be playing a video of my game, so you get some sort of animated feel to it. It's not everything's just static. So remember, I wanted a logo that could actually be used as a profile pic for social media. So let me go ahead and show you how this currently looks for my Twitter and YouTube accounts. So for Twitter, I think this is looking pretty good. I really like this little circular profile pic. And it gets most of the letters Mono War out there. I could probably scale this and resize this as, to make this a little bit better. But the background is still pretty good in this picture. I think it's an overall decent profile pic. And let's look at how the YouTube version looks. The YouTube version doesn't look as nice. I guess the Twitter profile icon grabs more of the picture. I may need to work with the YouTube one a little bit more. In some cases like this, I almost feel like maybe I should have gone with a dwarf or something simpler. But this is what I have right now, and it's better than what I had before. So making progress. Then one last thing I wanted to point out is that with the images that Hamad provided me, I was able to use the third concept and just change a little bit to Mono War Studios. This is what we're looking at right now, and that is the name of my LLC. So I do have a company, it's registered, and I actually have a logo for that company too, which will be separate from the actual game. I don't know if I'll ever make another game, but I was able to use the same concept, so that's pretty cool. And I actually do really like this dwarf and the axes, so I'll be popping that on my website or itch.io or whatever or even my video game eventually, but I thought this was pretty cool. Okay, so after all that, I thanked Hamad, I paid him, and I gave him his 5 stars on Upwork. And if you like what you've seen from Hamad and what he's done for me, feel free to reach out to him, and see what he can do for you. All right, guys, so that's it for my logo design art. I have had positive experience with Upwork, so I plan to use that service again and probably find another freelancer to come and do some 3D art for me. There's some dice in my game that I would love some new visuals for those dice, and also like little bases that my characters are on. I would love for an artist to do some bases for me, so I plan on using that service again. So that's it for this video. In my next video, I'll be talking about all the visual updates I've made to my game, and I'm really excited about this, guys. So, see you next time.
I love to eat Krabby Patties. to eat Krabby Patties.